Okay, what's up, people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing good this Tuesday morning. As always, guys, if you are enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out. And of course, make sure you check out the Elevating Traders Discord channel. Link to that is at the top of the chat. I pinned it so you can't miss it. It's also in the description as well. Discount opportunities will be available there when we do launch. So if you are interested, make sure you check it out so you don't miss out. And make sure you hit the bell on the channel as well so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But guys, welcome back. Will, good morning. Hope you're well. Pound USD broke out. Not convinced yet. Okay, we'll take a look. Mohammed, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Tashi, good morning. Brian, good morning. The Forex Trader, good morning. And Blessing, good morning. Hope you are well. Excuse me. So we'll start by going through the USD pairs. Okay, Euro USD, yeah, that fits right in. So yeah, I was stopped out of Euro USD. I was long last Friday, but it just took me out almost to the pip, to be honest. My entry was on this candle here, and my stop loss was around there, and that wick just took me out. I'm looking for re-entries to get back into the trade because I'm still bullish on Euro. However, it is trading below the level I entered at. So for me to get back in, price needs to be back above this level, which if I draw it on the daily chart, so this is the area I was buying from, which was still roughly holding on the daily, but 4 hours is my time frame for entry. So what I'm looking for is a strong candle closure back above this level for a re-entry, and that will trigger me into the trade. I like the momentum we saw in the past 4 hour candle. I think that's probably what Will was referring to with the breakout on pound, which we'll get into in a second. So we have seen a bit of momentum to the upside this morning for the USD pairs, which is good. But in terms of the entry, because I was taking up my previous one, I need price to be back above the high. So Euro, I think, is still looking like a nice, like a nice long opportunity, because this is kind of the last point of call for me for Euro buys. Should we break through this level, I'll definitely start to take a back seat and just analyze and see what happens next. Because not that we can't go bullish below this area, it's just that, you know, this is kind of like the last level I was willing to buy from. If we start breaking through this area, I'm not too sure if we're going to see that big move I was looking for anyway with Euro. So this is a really, really important level for me, which I do expect us to hold. And if we don't hold, then I'm going to start to not become bearish, but just hold off my buys for now for Euro. So I'm looking to see if Euro can get back above that level for some entries on the 4 hour. And then again, looking for that swing to the upside. In terms of pound USD, looking at a very, very similar move. Pound USD didn't really see any downside, to be honest. Pound USD was just kind of moving sideways. We have seen a bit of momentum, which again is what Will was referring to with this 4 hour candle. I like the close, and I can see why you're not convinced yet, I suppose, because it's still hanging on to this level of resistance here. If we closed above that, that would be a really, really nice sign for pound, because we have this descending channel, which we've broken through, but momentum hasn't really been, it hasn't really been big. It's not like we've broken through. The market is now pushing really hard. We're stuck at that level of resistance, so that could be a little bit doubtful. But if the market can then go and break through in the next 4 hour candle, that would be a really convincing sign that pound has gained some strength, and we could be seeing a push back to at least the high here around 1.316 and possibly back to the levels we've been mentioning on these daily in the 4 hour chart, swing high over there, and of course the high over there as well. So I like the pound buys because we're still holding onto the level, unlike Euro, which we're kind of breaking through. Pound is still respecting this level really well. So the buys are still very much on, but there is a bit of local resistance that the market is kind of struggling at. So if we can get the break of that, I think that's when the trade will kickstart. So I'll keep a close eye on that for pound, really 1.30792. I think if we can get a break of that, that's when things will look good for pound. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what happens if we can get above that high. But I still like pound because we're still above this level. As long as we stay above, I'm looking for that bullish swing. Breakthrough, yeah, I'll reanalyze and see where the next move likely is, because after that, we've got the break of structure. You know, we'll probably see more downside at that point. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound USD. We'll take a look at a couple other USD pairs as well whilst we're at it. What's up, Jim? Well, Gim, not Jim. I'm acting like it's a J. What's up, Gim? Welcome to the stream. Holy One, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Brian, you short Aussie CHF? Okay, nice. Does it make sense to buy Aussie dollar? Not on paper, no. If you're selling Aussie CHF, it doesn't really make sense to buy Aussie dollar because those currency pairs are mainly positively correlated. So if Aussie CHF is weak, most of the time Aussie dollar is going to be weak as well. So you either want to be selling them both or buying them both, or just picking one and trading the one asset, because effectively you'd be doubling your risk anyway. So I'll just pick one which makes the most sense. Which I mean, you said you're currently short, so yeah, I'll just sit with Aussie CHF. There's no point in going to buy Aussie dollar because effectively those trades will cancel out. I mean, again, there's nothing inherently wrong, but you just expect one to fail and one to work, basically. Okay, so we'll take a look at a couple of other USD pairs. So USD, again, this was a pair I was liking last week, but it broke through this low. So again, I stayed back, didn't want to get involved, and it is kind of 50-50. Looks like it's starting to hold a resistance. We might see a bit more downside because USD is a bit more choppy. The fact that we broke through that low really does put me off the trade. So I'm not really interested to do anything with USD anymore. Now that we've broken through that strong low, possibly we could even see a move back down to this area here because there is no real, strict significant levels in the market apart from back down here, maybe some areas there, but it all looks a bit wishy-washy. I really wanted to see price hold this level, and since it's not, that does really just invalidate the setup for me. So USD, I'm still naturally bullish because I'm bullish on the USD pairs, but I'm not seeing any opportunity to get involved. At least that fits what I'm looking for. In terms of dollar CAD, this one's just flying like there's no tomorrow. I think CAD is pretty weak. I saw oil took a bit of a dive yesterday. So oil's been pretty weak. And of course, that's going to encourage CAD to be weak as well. And then USD CAD has just used that to its advantage and it's been flying since then. So I like the buys with dollar CAD, but I need a really big pullback because the market at the moment is very, very stretched. So there's no point me trying to find some buys up here. The market's too far gone. I need to see a bit of a correction after that. So really steep trend there, really steep trend we've had. So I need to see a breather. I like the possible retest of the high here, but the further away we push, kind of less likely we are to get there really with dollar CAD. I've got a feeling that we might just kind of keep this momentum up all the way back into the high, which would be very, very impressive. But in terms of a solid opportunity on the daily chart, this looks really good to me. Breaking we tested that opportunity and see if we can swing it back to 1.39. But this is where I'm expecting the market to end up at for dollar CAD since we broke the structure a couple of weeks ago or last week, put that big double bottom in. This is where I do expect us to come back into, which is basically just the resistance here on the weekly chart. You can see massive resistance once, almost twice there, third time over there, fourth time over there. So that's kind of where I'm expecting price to drift in towards. So if I can find some pullbacks on the way up, that would be great. It's just, will we get that pullback? And if we do get the pullback, would it be all the way to this level here before the continuation? That's where the waiting comes into play. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at for dollar CAD. More upside, expecting push into 1.39 in the next few days, or maybe a couple of weeks if it does pull back. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with dollar CAD. Dollar CHF, not really a dollar pair I'm keeping an eye on really. I'm not really seeing an opportunity with this one. We've already had a bounce off the low here. So now I'm looking to see if we're going to put another lower high in. If we're to approach the high up there, maybe some shorts will look good. That could interest me, but not at current price. Not at current price. So dollar CHF, I'm not really too concerned with. Aussie dollar, I like the upside as well. Coming back into this level, still holding. And again, the key low, this swing low here, as long as that stays intact, I remain bullish on Aussie dollar for a push to the upside, or again, at least a push back to 0.68 there. So I still like where Aussie dollar is trading. I like to see a bit more momentum. Looks like we're kind of consolidating. So if you can get a strong candle closure, that would be a nice entry signal. But so far it's doing the business, holding on to that level. And of course, gold and silver just kind of generally bullish on these pairs. Um, yeah, silver waiting for the break of the high. And gold, I mean, gold, I was waiting for the pullback into this area since it's not looking like it's happening. I think, yeah, just going to wait to see if gold can continue and then see what we can do on some retest. So, yeah, we'll see what happens with gold, but it's just too bullish for me at the moment. So, yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the USD pairs for now. So yeah, went through dollar CAD. Hopefully that made sense. What's up, Karis? Good morning. Welcome to the stream. Will, waiting for correction. Oil clear break so far. Okay. Okay, yeah, you're looking to short oil, didn't you mention there from 72? Okay, I'll go take a look at oil. Gim, good day to you as well. CAD Chef and some yen. Yeah, I'll go through some yen pairs as well. I'm still hanging on to my yen, my pound yen position. Yeah, so we'll go through that definitely. Holy One, what's up? Alert for USD have never activated. Oh, you didn't get an alert for it. Oh, you're trying to figure out why you're in the trade. Oh, so you didn't get. So you're saying that you entered the trade when you were not supposed to enter. You never got an alert for it. But yeah, I'll go take a look at oil, and then we'll go through some yen pairs. So yeah, with oil, it was very bearish yesterday. It looks like we snapped through 72 like it was nothing, which is quite spectacular because I was looking for a bounce here at 72 yesterday. I said we might see some nice downside there, and then I'm looking to see if we can bounce from that. But no, price broke through that pretty easily. Was that a bit of a gap in the market? Was that, wow, we even gapped on Monday there. Actually, no, it might be the price action being a bit weird on the broker I'm looking at because it's filled down the alley. But yeah, it's big push to the downside. Now it's breaking through 72, so possibly could be seen as swing back to 66, 65, which of course is roughly where we've got that massive weekly level, which I'll just mark out. Major support there. It looks like price could be working its way towards that area. Will said he's looking for a retest of 72. I like it. It's been a very steady level in the past, and should we get a nice little retest of that area, you would expect it to hold, or at least look for evidence that it's holding, and possibly could look to ride that back down to 66. Is that something you're looking at, Will? Looking for the swing back to the low here, or are you looking for some shorter term targets? Let me know. But in terms of the downside potential, it's definitely there. Now that we're below 72, I would expect us to kind of fill that range back to 66, 65. And then we'll see what happens there. Maybe we bounce again. But the key thing really there is the break. A lot of momentum there. Preferably, if I was looking at oil, I would like a little bit more downside before I look for the retest. If the market was to come back and retest straight away, I'm not too sure if I'll be convinced. If the market was to really melt down and see a lot of downside and then have a bit of a prolonged pullback, something similar to what we had, over here, nice drop down, nice little pullback there. If you can get something like that, that would be nice. Maybe lining up the trend line there as well. I think that would be a really nice trade with a lot of confluence behind it. But again, the idea is that we're looking to hold below 72 and see a push back down to the low 66, 65 area. But yeah, I think there's a lot of downside to be had. And if that does come into play and we do see oil continue falling, that means we're going to see a bit more weakness for CADs, and that could keep taking USD CAD a lot higher without a big pullback. So that will be interesting for oil. We'll go through some yen pairs. Well, I was supposed to take a look at CAD Chef. Did I see CAD Chef somewhere? I mean, I'll go through some CHF pairs in a moment, and we'll take a look. But I'll go through some yen pairs. Oh, okay. Basically, broker rule. Okay. Was it an accidental break of the rule? Like, You weren't aware you were breaking it, or was it like you broke the rule and you knew you were breaking it, but you just took it anyway? Okay, aiming for the bottom with trading. Okay, nice, nice. Yeah, I like the idea because there's a lot of momentum with that break of oil. Like I said, if I was looking for the retest, I'll wait for a bit more downside. I mean, it doesn't have to be all the way down here, but just a bit more downside just to really convince me that we're really below. And then I'll look for some type of correction onto that 72 area. Anyway, let's go through some yen pairs. So with the yen pairs, we are seeing a bit of downside. We are seeing a bit of downside. Is my bias for the yen pairs coming into life? Possibly. I've been sounding like a madman, being very, very bearish on the yen pairs for the past 2, 3, 4 weeks potentially. And all we've been seeing is a lot of upside, but I've kept retaining that bias under some strict rules, of course. Swiss yen is one of them, which I kind of abandoned because it took out this high. I said with Swiss yen, I'll stay bearish as long as we stay below that high. Now the breakout wasn't convincing at all, so I'm not bullish on Swiss yen. I'm not expecting upside. In fact, I still do expect downside, but technically my bias should be invalidated because it has broken the high. But from experience, I can tell that this breakout isn't really something I will look to follow. So I'm actually expecting us to come back underneath and possibly get that sell that I'm looking for. So if Swiss yen can start breaking back below 172.729, I think the sells are very much back on. I say that because the breakout has just been very, very corrective, and it's been the same across the board with the yen pairs. We've been very corrective with these moves higher up. It's not like we've seen impressive or very strong momentum. Everything's been really corrective. So I do expect to start bleeding pretty soon. And the Swiss yen get back below 172.7. I think we're on for a really big sell. So watch out for that. In terms of dollar yen's trading at a really nice place for a sell as well. I've been speaking about 149 and 152 as nice levels for shorts. We're struggling to break through this area here at 149. 152 is this area here. So if this level didn't hold, this would be the second area I would anticipate some downside from. We kind of did break above, but again, still in that corrective nature as well. So I'm not buying it. I do think we can see some downside from that. Still need to see some strong breaks though, as in some convincing breaks of these ascending channels. Still need to see those breaks. But if they do happen, then yeah, I'm expecting these yen pairs to take a big dive and possibly see that full swing all the way back to the low at 140 as well. So that's the key thing with the yen pairs, is that there's a lot of downside potential. If we are going to see that trend from July, that bearish drop we had in July continue, then there's a lot of room to the downside, which is why the yen pairs are pretty attractive, because if you can catch that swing, you're looking at some a ginormous amount of pips you could look to potentially capitalize on. So dollar yen trading at really interesting prices. If we can break outside of that descending channel, ascending channel, then the shorts are very much on. I wouldn't say we've broken out yet, but it looks like we're on that way. So let's see if we can keep that up. Aussie yen looks like that one's slowly breaking through. Again, maybe not the most convincing break. So I need to see a lot more downside to be really convinced that we're really breaking out. But it's the start of something. We've been very, very corrective in this ascending channel here as well. And I'm expecting us to see a big drop to the downside. And again, if we are going to see a continuation of this drop in July, then I'm expecting us to come right back down into the lows around 91. So again, a lot of potential to the downside if we're gonna commit. We also need to break back underneath this low. I keep saying that. Back underneath this high, and that's what really will start to convince me. So what I'm looking at for Aussie yen is a strong break like this, corrections, and then the drop. And then we can start looking to target these lows and target these lows. That is what I'll be looking for. But the break there is essential. If not, we might use it as support and continue higher. So momentum, still more momentum needed. New Zealand yen, same thing here as well. I mean, this one's just still stuck in the consolidation. So nothing really to report on for the past couple of weeks here, with New Zealand yen just being more of the same. But again, if it does manage to break the low and we see a convincing break of that, retest look really, really attractive. And again, if you can catch it successfully, looking at a pretty nice risk reward back into the low here, which is around 86.5. And then if we're really lucky, could be looking at push all the way down to 83.5 there as well. And really looking to milk that trade for all it has. So yeah, with the yen pairs, we're still trading at really strong highs here, and they're not showing any signs of convincing breaks to the upside. So as long as we keep maintaining that and retaining that bearish bias, anticipating a big sell, again, if I'm wrong and we see big breaks of these highs, I'll analyze again and maybe change my bias if I need to. But because we're still respecting these highs, I'm still short bias. Euro yen, another one which is still respecting a daily high as well, which is this level here. Again, if we can maintain that high there, I'm expecting a big drop for euro yen back into the lows. Now, euro yen hasn't actually kind of tested the high yet, so if I was looking to trade euro yen, I would still be waiting for an entry. We are still looking pretty bearish here, but in my eyes, we haven't actually tested the 164 level yet, which is the high yet, which is the high over there. So I would be looking for another test of that area, possibly something like this, and then the short, and that could look really good. Something like that, entries above the high, and then looking to capitalize on a swing back into the low. That would be the preferred setup. But again, with how corrected price is moving, I do think the drop is pretty likely. So 164 key resistance, maybe we do break out now. That could be the possibility, but I would like to retest the high. Pound yen, the market which I've been trading for quite a while, again, still very corrective. Let me just take this across. Still very corrective. So it's the same thing with the yen pairs. We have been trading up, but they're still very corrective. So I do expect them to break to the downside at some point. The thing with pound yen is, would it take me out the trade first before we get the break? That's the only question, really. I'm running out of room by the day, but we'll see. If I need to find re-entries, I'll look for re-entries, and if pound yen doesn't look too good, I'll look at other yen pairs. And CAD yen as well. CAD yen is doing a really good job at holding onto this high. So as long as we can maintain that with CAD yen, I am looking for a big drop all the way back to the low here at 102 and most likely beyond. So the yen pairs, my bearish bias is still very much at play. And again, when I do create these biases, I calculate swing points or points in the market or areas in the market which keep me in that bias. So for example, with CAD yen, the bias stays alive as long as we can respect the high here. It doesn't have to be perfect. We can break above a little bit, break back below. The market's not perfect. It will make moves like that. But predominantly speaking, if we can stay below that high, I'm looking for a drop. If the market was going to start breaking through this and creates a bit of a bullish trend, that would invalidate the bias, and our potential might be bullish and looking for opportunities above it. But as long as we stay below, looking for that drop. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. We want to see how they get on. And if I am right and we do see that bias come through, I'm expecting big moves for the yen pairs because we've been so corrective. And when the yen pairs sell, as we've touched on in previous streams, they do sell off like there's no tomorrow. So I think we're going to see some really nice price action. We've got yen inflation rate this Friday, so maybe it's waiting for an event like that to get the ball rolling, or maybe Bank of Japan might do something out of nowhere, or at least something we're not aware of, and then we might see the yen pairs melting again. We'll have to wait and see. But yeah, still in pound yen, still very bearish on it, but yeah, still waiting on a lot of momentum, which we're not quite seeing yet. A bit of bearish momentum this morning, but nothing that really changes anything really. And some yen pairs are looking a lot better than others, like CAD yen looking a lot better. Already starting to put some lower highs in, respecting the high there pretty well. I do think this one's going to start dropping soon, especially with oil looking pretty bearish too. If oil keeps falling, that's probably going to give a CAD a jump start there. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the yen pairs. Is anyone looking to trade the yen pairs? I know a lot of people kind of staying away from them for now. And yeah, I don't blame you if there's other pairs looking cleaner, a bit better to trade. then yeah, it makes sense. But yeah, I'm still pretty bearish on them. Okay, so we'll go through, okay, Kojo, we'll go through Bitcoin as well. Um, okay, Brian, I missed that question. Does that mean our bearish trend, I see it might be short-lived, seeing the all signs now point to bullish Aussie dollar, which has a positive correlation with euro and pound? Possibly. Again, that's the thing with swing trading. You don't necessarily know the answer to that, because you know which pairs are correlated and which are inversely correlated. So of course, they will make opposite moves in due time, but you don't necessarily know which swing is going to play out, because I'm short. Well, I'm still short in pound yen, but I was long in euro USD. I don't know which swing trade is going to play out. Maybe they both won't play out. Maybe they both do play out. Um, so the idea is that you don't want to be trying too predictive of which swing is going to play out and which swing isn't. On paper, you're following a plan, you're following an edge. With Aussie CHF, the plan is that I'm expecting price to reject the high here and see a swing back to the low. Now, will that happen? That's not up to me. But if the market is going to continue this bearish trend and reject the high, there's a pretty good chance that we could see a swing near enough to around that low. So the probability is in my favor. I took in the trade and now I'm managing it. Whether we see that move, whether it's short term, whether it's long term, whether it continues a lot further, is up to the market, and which is why I trail stops, because I don't know how far price will go in my direction. I can jump into Aussie dollar longs, and potentially that might be a loss. That might just be a small profit, a small win, or it might be an enormous trade. I don't know. So the point I'm trying to get home is that you don't know which trade is going to play out. The key thing is, are you taking the correct trades? Are you taking good trades? Are the trades fitting your plan? Do they tick the box in terms of confluences? If the trade you're taking does tick those boxes, then how far it goes, you don't want to think too much about, because you probably start exiting trades too early, holding on to trades you shouldn't hold on to. You don't want to try and force that. You don't want to try and force that, because you'd be thinking too much. So yeah, possibly Aussie CHF might be short term. It might be long term. We'll find out when we find out. But with me, I'll manage the trade with my trail stop loss and let the market do its thing. But yeah, you are right. If Aussie dollar is going to push up, then so will Aussie CHF. But we don't know that. Maybe Aussie dollar wants to have a big move down. And then Aussie CHF moves down as well. So you don't want to try and predict too much. But it's a good point, good question. But yeah, we'll go through BTC. No problem awareness, happy to help. Heard you went under the 450, so that was valid, but I should have waited for alerts. Oh, okay. So you missed the component then. I see. I had 45 pips in drawdown because of it. Well, again, I suppose everything's a lesson. Take it on the chin and move forward. And again, the thing is with these type of mistakes as well, as long as your risk is managed, the worst case scenario, you take an unnecessary loss, which of course is not fun and not something you want to do. But in the grand scheme of things, over the course of a year, one loss is not going to define your year. But the biggest mistake to make is what you mentioned on last stream as well, is your risk as well. You don't want to accidentally risk 50% of your account on one trade. That's a risk that you would take a lot of time to get back from, or risk 90% of your margin in one trade. That's type of mistakes you can't afford to make. But in terms of taking a rubbish trade or taking a trade outside your plan, of course you don't want to be making those mistakes regardless. But if they do happen, you kind of brush it off and you keep going. As long as your risk was managed, then in the long run, it's not going to make too much of an impact on your trading. So you learn from it, and then you keep pushing. 31 before joined stream completed 100 pound to a million in 1.5 hours. Well, I think he's probably the greatest trader of all time if he did that. He's just watching history there. 1.5 hours, not even 2 hours. Didn't even need the full two, just 1.5. But yeah, hats off to him though. John, good morning. Hope you're well. I am doing good. Hope you are as well. Can get my take on DXY? Okay, we'll take a look at the dollar as well. No problem. I have a sell on dollar yen. Okay, we'll touch on dollar yen. Actually, since I'm on the yen pairs, let me just quickly go through that. Then I'll take a look at BTC as well for you. So yeah, with dollar yen, you took a short from 151.837. Whereabouts is that? 151. Is that correct? Because 151.837 is around here somewhere. So unless you give me the wrong currency pair or the wrong price, it'd be quite difficult to get a sell there. Or are you looking to sell? Oh, you got a sell order there. Okay. I thought you got market execution. Yeah, I actually like that level. I like that level a lot as well. It's a really strong level on the daily chart. Massive swing high with support there as well. And that is my second level, which I would expect to see some bearish momentum from. So if this level here doesn't work at 149, then that would be my secondary where I would expect to see the market fall from. So yeah, having a sell order there makes perfect sense. I'm not really the type of trader to leave orders. I always use market execution because I want price to get to my areas and I want to study price and see how it is respecting my levels before I do jump into a trade. So I wouldn't use an order, but of course, if that's your thing, then and you tried and tested, then keep with it. But in terms of the area, yeah, that's a place which I would like to get involved with as well. Of course, me being a pound yen, I'm not looking to get into another yen pair at the moment. But if I'm not in pound yen at the time and dollar yen is up there, I'll be more than happy to take some shorts. And again, in terms of the risk reward, it looks phenomenal if it does play out back to the low. If I can get a nice trail stop loss there, I'll be looking really, really good there. But we'll see. 149 is doing a pretty good job at holding price. We'll see if that keeps up or if we do push higher. And in terms of Bitcoin last time I checked is struggling at the high a little bit. Yeah, really strong push, but now we're back at resistance and we're starting to find a bit of resistance there. Full hour, nice little rejection there on that candle there as well. So in my book, Bitcoin is trading at a really nice place for some shorts. Should we hold on to this area? Because the way I'm looking at Bitcoin is the market is in this long-term descending channel, respecting the highs, respecting the lows. And as long as we stay in this descending channel, I'm looking for a really big move to the downside. So I'm looking for something like this, test the trend line, and a big drop back into 52, 50K. If we do get the breakout of this, then of course I'll rethink things, because if price is trading above the high here, trading above the channel, then possibly we're in a bullish breakout stage and the market is about to really let fly. Because we could see something like we saw here continue again. That could take us to 80, 90, 100K possibly with Bitcoin. And our job is just to find those pullbacks along the way and just ride that momentum really for as long as possible. So there's a lot of upside for Bitcoin should we get the breakout of this channel. But at the moment, the channel has acted as resistance really, really well. Market has failed every time to break through. So I'm not going to be expecting any different with this one. So if I was looking to get involved with Bitcoin, I would be looking at shorting at the high here, looking for that swing back down to the lows. If I'm wrong and if I get stopped out and we see a big break, then I'll look to flip that bias. Of course, I'll wait for my confirmations. I want to see some solid candle closures above. And then, yeah, I will be looking to flip that bias around and look to take some buys and see how far I can take it. Because if you do catch the bias right, who knows? We could be trading at some really big prices. But for now, shorts still look good. In fact, I would like to see price kind of stab into the level a little bit higher up, just to tag the trend line as well. Then look for some shorts like this, and then yeah, possibly a swing back to 52, 50K. But the way I see it with Bitcoin, that either way, if you're shorting or buying, the risk reward looks good, because if you're shorting, you're looking for the swing back down to the low end of the channel. And if you're buying, then you're expecting momentum, you're expecting a big break. And if you're trailing and just letting the trade do its thing, you could be onto a monster trade as well. So either which way, there's opportunity. It's just about waiting for the time to strike and getting involved. But yeah, that's kind of how I see Bitcoin at the moment. Excuse me. Okay, we'll take a look at dollar for John. He finished it after weeks 1.5 hours ago. Oh, not in 1 hour. Okay. So it took him. Wait, I'm confused. Is it 1.5 weeks? And he'd done it an hour ago? What's up, Inkeba? Welcome to the stream. Okay, you got US30 sell at 43190. Okay, we'll go take a look. Okay, it's hedged now. They're sold right from the top. So the risk is now almost gone. Okay, so you got a higher sell then. How is your CHF doing? I haven't actually looked at it. Yeah, still sideways, but I like the second entry a lot more because it's kind of out here, so it's effectively shorting the high of the range really. But yeah, the CHF pairs have been very, very choppy still. I mean, Aussie CHF still just messing around for me. Yeah, pound CHF, CAD CHF. So I'm not quite convinced with the CHF pairs really. I think they're waiting for some type of news catalyst to get the ball rolling. But yeah, Euro CHF, I like the shorts a lot more at the top because the entry is a little bit safer. And then yeah, possibly a swing to the low there. I'm looking at for Euro Swiss. Okay, took him a few months to complete, got to 1 million an hour ago. Okay, understand. He started about 2.5 months ago. Well, kudos to him. Kudos to him. I think he's probably one of the best traders of our generation, to be fair. Because that's some impressive stuff. Especially to do it online like that. Anyway, we'll take a look at dollar, and then I'll go through that US30 position. So yeah, with dollar, it's been interesting because the market, I'm still looking for a bit of a drop as we've come into this 103,500 area. And I said last week, I'm looking for a push back into 102, which is this level here. And yeah, I'm still long-term bearish with dollar. I still do think we can get to the low. We might be going for a bigger pullback before we do that. But I'm not convinced that we're just going to have that massive sell in one go, and we can definitely come into areas like such and still see more upside after that because we have had a really, really aggressive bounce at that low, and possibly could see a swing closer to the higher end of the range, maybe to 104, 105 areas before we do get another big sell. So that's definitely on the cards for the dollar. In terms of the immediate bias, what I'm expecting next with the DXY is definitely a reaction from this area and a push to 102. But of course, that'll be up to price, whether we get all the way down there. But I'm liking us. We're really struggling at this area here. This is where we had a brief pause in the past. And we saw a lot of momentum come from that same area. You can see price is struggling quite a lot there now as well. You can see how corrected we were there too. So in my book, I'm expecting us to see some downside beyond that and hopefully a retest of that 102 area there as well. So that's kind of what I'm looking for dollar for the next maybe few days. Hence why I'm still pretty bullish on the USD pairs. I'm not quite convinced that maybe euro will go all the way to the high or pound will go all the way to the high or Aussie dollar will go all the way back to the high there. So I'm not as convinced that will make that full swing. I think we can see a worthy reaction where making the trade makes a lot of sense. And then if price does turn around, I'll have my trailed stop loss and I'll get trailed out for a smaller profit. And if I'm wrong and price just keeps flying, then great. We could be onto a much bigger trade. But yeah, I'm looking for that push to the upside for the USD pairs and push to the downside for dollar itself. I think once we get a break of that ascending channel, that might be the catalyst of what gets us going. But yeah, for dollar, I'm looking for a brief drop there. And if it gets 102, we might see some more upside afterwards. Okay, let's go take a look at US 30. So in Kepa, you said you got an entry at... Okay, you're shorting US 30. You're brave. I have to tell you that because that's looking really, really bullish. But I'm sure you got your reasons. 43,190. 43,190. So that's right. Well, you're probably looking at a different broker because the broker I'm looking at, 43,190, we haven't actually got to that price yet. So unless you got a pending order there, it'd be difficult to get a short around that area. And your targets are 32,800. Ooh, 32,800. That is a big drop. Are you sure about that, Inkeba? 32,800. That's... Are you sure? And where's your stop loss? Stop loss is 43.30. 43. And your stop loss is around there. I mean, I bet the risk reward is absolutely phenomenal on that position. Probably like a 1 to 25, maybe. Probably even more. Yeah, I mean, in terms of the likelihood of that position playing out, I would say it's probably extremely low. Just because of such a small room for error with the stop loss for such a big target. The probability is pretty low, no matter how good the analysis is, really, just in the likeliness of playing it out. So again, I'm all for big risk rewards. I think risk rewards are great, but of course, naturally, you're going to have a lower win rate with a risk reward, so you do have to take that into consideration. But if you're going to go for big risk reward trades, I'm always pro trend. So, for example, like US 30, if I'm looking for a big risk reward, I'm never going to go against this trend here. Absolutely not. Doesn't matter. I can still take sells and go counter trend. I can still take sells and go counter trend, but I'm never going to look for big targets because I'm well aware that the average move for US 30 is price going higher. So if I'm going to take any shorts in these conditions, I'm always naturally up against it. And like I said, doesn't mean you can't take shorts. You can definitely take shorts and make money from them, but you're going to have to be considerate to the price action. If we're seeing an aggressive trend, shorting it is fine, but you have to be quick. I think intraday is the best way to get with it. Unless we start to create some bearish structure like this, then you can find some more meaningful sells. But especially when we're in this bullish phase here and you're giving yourself such a small margin to trade with, unless I've read the prices wrong, or maybe you've made a typo. I think, that trade is just a little bit too far-fetched. I'm not too sure. You said 32,300. It's around that low there. Is it 32? No, 32,800. So yeah, I just think it's a bit unreasonable, to be honest. Very unreasonable. And again, maybe it does happen, but that's just never a trade I'll look to take or imagine. And the thing is, you could even see some downside, but it might just come back to here and retest the high and then go back up against you. And that's a phenomenal trade in itself. You're still looking at a decent risk reward there, but to try and aim for all the way over there, I think is just a little bit too far fetched. So yeah, that's my advice in that position. I think just because it's so bullish as well, anyway, shorting is always going to be difficult. Okay. Um, okay. Okay. So still in Aussie CHF and Aussie CAD buys. See what they do. Okay. What's up, Annie? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. You said still claim I closed 3 days ago. Yeah, the hindsight coming to have a bit of fun with you. I mean, yeah, with US 30, it's just been really bullish. And again, it's difficult to foresee that really unless you're just going to have not a take profit in, because the only way you're going to really take advantage of a move like this is maybe you using like Fibonacci extension targets or something like that, or you just don't have a target in place and you kind of just trail underneath structure. Because if you're going to have a TP, the majority of people will have targets at the high because that's the only reasonable place you would look to target really. So yeah, moves like this is always going to be difficult to catch with take profits. Yeah, but yeah, it's a bit of hindsight for you. Difficult, especially when it just kind of keeps going, and you could have like doubled your profits. But a win is a win. You know, if you bank the profit, you can't be too unhappy with it. Long-term view in pound yen, do you think it's going to touch 200 level again in the near future? No, I'm pretty bearish on pound yen. I'm looking for a lot more downside for pound yen. A lot more downside for pound yen. So I'm very, very bullish. I mean, very bullish. I'm very bearish on pound yen. In fact, I'm actually selling it at the moment. I've been selling it for the past 2 weeks, but I've been in drawdown prices just kind of moving sideways on me. So it's been a very, very annoying hold. But my stop loss is just above the high there at 196, 200, 300 roughly, just above the wick high. But yeah, I'm actually short on it. So I'm actually long-term bearish bias. I'm actually looking for something like this for pound yen in the next coming days/weeks. That's the move I'm really interested on. Back to 200, possibly. Maybe if the market wants to go through a bigger pullback, we could get back to 200 and maybe a lot beyond it. But what I want to see for the buys is some strong bullish structure coming back into play. And then I'll be an advocate for the buys. But for now, I'm really looking for this big drop in July. I'm looking at this as a pullback or as a pause for that bearish move. And I'm now looking for the continuation of it. I'm looking for the bears to step back into the market. So no, I'm expecting a lot more downside on the pound yen and the other yen pairs as well. If we're to see some big breakouts and some real strong bullish momentum, I'll reanalyze. But looking at the 4 hour, looking at the daily, this is really corrective price action for me. So it tells me that we're likely to get a push down rather than sustained bullish structure. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with pound yen. I'm looking for a big drop lower. I know price has been pretty consistent with the high lows, but because it's corrective, lacks momentum, tells me we're more likely to break down and see some heavy momentum to the downside rather than sustained price action and bullish momentum going higher. That US 30 a black swan event or some type of election. Yeah, very, very true. Yeah, I think in terms of the risk reward there, again, it's good because the reward is like 30 times the risk. So if it does play out, it's a great day. But yeah, for a drop like that, it's going to have to be a crazy, crazy move. Something like we saw in COVID actually. This move here in COVID, I think that was COVID. Yeah, it was COVID. Something like that is kind of what you're looking for really to get your trade going. Something like that. I mean, if I was to measure that drop, so that's 11,300. If I measure that from the high, so that's 10,500. So you're looking for almost as big as a drop than that from COVID. for you to get to your take profit there. So, I mean, it has happened in the past, but you're looking for like a COVID level event for that to happen again. Yeah, so it's just very, very unrealistic. And I reckon you could reduce that take profit by a considerable amount. Um, broke through the resistance on a 2645. If it remains above this level, we can anticipate potential continuation of the bullish trend. Reach 104. Okay, so is that the reason why you're looking to short US 30? Because you're anticipating more upside for the dollar, which again does make sense in terms of correlation. And typically, if you do see a strong dollar, US 30 and the other indices will have pullbacks and see some downside. So I can definitely understand there's definitely merit behind your thinking. I can tell because you do share your trades on the stream a lot, so I can tell there's definitely thinking and methodology behind it. But I think just the size of the move you're looking for in US 30 just a bit over the top. Um, that's all I'm trying to say. I'm not trying to say that you shouldn't be looking to short, although I wouldn't. And in these conditions, I'll at least wait for some bearish momentum to step back in and some bearish structure before shorting. But if you are looking to short, you need to be a bit more aware of that trend there. The likelihood is we're probably not going to see a move that big, and targets more to this area look a lot more realistic. Or even at least have something in terms of managing the trade, like trading stops or place to take partials. That'll make it a little bit more reasonable. Kodros, what point did you decide to trade full time and what inspired that decision? Good question. Well, after I left university, trading was the only thing that I really wanted to pursue because I was enjoying university, but I wasn't enjoying the course I was studying. And the plan was to complete that course and then just do trading on the side. But it just it wasn't motivating me. I wasn't feeling passionate or inspired by it. So I just decided to focus on trading full time. And really, the big selling point for trading for me is not necessarily the money, but the fact that I can trade wherever I want, whichever country I want, as long as I got a Wi-Fi connection and my trading setup. So that's really what kind of inspired me to just really focus on trading because of the location freedom it can provide, and comparing it to the degree I was looking to study and looking to achieve. Yeah, the pros were just outweighing the pros out of the degree, so I just focused on that full time. No problem, Annie. Happy to help. How the monthly chart looks bullish. Yeah, that's very correct. Very, very correct. Again, the monthly chart does look very bullish. And again, I could be wrong. Maybe the market does continue higher. But the key thing I've noticed on the monthly chart is that looking at current price, if you zoom out and look at the prior drop we had down here, it's kind of like the market is repeating itself to a degree, because if you look at the major swing high, we just pinched it and then we had a massive sell-off. And to me, the price action is looking very, very similar. We had a high over there, the market's pushed up, just about pinched it as well. So I'm anticipating a lot of downside in the near future for pound yen and the other yen pairs as well, if we're going to do something like this again. Of course, maybe this time we might break through. That's where you manage risk and you use stop losses or something to manage your trade. But if history is going to repeat itself, there's a very high chance we could see a bloodbath start and the market really start to move to the downside from this particular area. So yeah, definitely the monthly chart has been bullish. We've been pushing up for the past couple of years now, but we're at a significant swing point where we could be looking to topple and change that trend. And again, it doesn't have to be a big move like this. This is just an example. It could be a shorter pullback and then the market continues higher. That could be the possibility as well. But we're trading at a point where this does look like a point where we're likely to reverse. So that's kind of where I'm looking at the monthly from. Turning point there, could be another turning point there as well. So yeah, it's either the trend is going to continue or this is the tipping point, the turning point, and now we're going to start to see some downside come into play. So that's kind of what I'm looking at from a monthly point of view as well. In Keba, okay, you got a buy limit on the 102,600 support level for the dollar. Okay, we'll take a look at that. Michael, what's up? Hope you're well. Thoughts on selling CAD yen 108.180? I'm pretty bearish on the yen pairs, so selling the yen pairs is a good idea in my book. Of course, in terms of the entry and finding suitable stop loss and targets, that's where the challenging part comes in. But we'll take a look at that in a moment. Hoodie one for US30, things like that. You may as well just do a 0.02 and leave it. Can happen, but the catalyst would need to be huge. Yeah, I fully agree. I fully agree because we could see that pullback happen, but you're going to need something crazy to get us to see that amount of downside, and that's not necessarily like a trade. It's more like an investment, really. A move like that. It's like the big short, really. Um, it's like the big short, but yeah, it's not to say we can't see some downside, but to that extent, it's going to need a big catalyst to get going. And COVID did a very similar move, and that was COVID. The whole world was shut down for a bit, and that's what created that move. So yeah, unless you know something that we don't, in Keba. Okay, so let me go through DXY. So yeah, with the DXY, you mentioned you're looking for a buy, and I like the buy around the 102 area. I think you said 102,600, so you're kind of looking halfway. So I did say for dollar, I'm expecting some downside from the 103,400 area because, excuse me, this is a place where we did pause for a little bit on the daily and the 4 hour. We did see a lot of momentum there. Now we're back there again, expecting to see price see some downside. And dollar's been so bullish as well since a couple of weeks ago. We've just been flying. So I do think, number one, a need for a retracement. Number two, we're at an area where sellers will be sitting anyway. So I do think we'll likely see some downside. In fact, dollar's looking pretty bearish at the moment right now. If we can get a nice break of this ascending channel, I think that would be the catalyst to really get us going. And I like the longs from 102. This looks like a really nice place for a buy, solid level resistance. Didn't really get a retest of that. So if price was to get back there again, I'm expecting some bullish price action, some rejection, and possibly some longs there could be looking good as well. And maybe some shorts like euro and pound could look good there too. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, I'm expecting some downside. You said you're looking to buy from 102,645. 102,645. So that's roughly around there. 102,370. And take profit 104,490. So that's pretty much just underneath the 500 mark. So I don't mind it in terms of the top, in terms of the entry, the stop loss. I'm not really on board with that. Again, I'm sure you got your reasons for looking to buy and place a stop loss there. But really, if I'm looking at that, if my stop loss is here, I'd rather it just be underneath that wick there. Of course, it means it's a little bit wider, but it's a bit more strategic underneath the swing low. In terms of the entry, I suppose maybe looking for a retest of some areas in there, which not too bad, but I would be looking for entries around there and stops underneath the level. That would be where I would be looking to enter. Of course, based on how I view the market. So yes, I think we're likely to see that push higher up, but I'll be looking a little bit further down for those buys rather than that area. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with the dollar. But if you want to enter there, I would recommend maybe stop loss a little bit further down just to account for that wick low, give you a bit more space to work with and more room to catch that buy. But yeah, I prefer 102. Okay, where was I? Okay, CAD Yen, I'll take a look, Michael, at that CAD Yen position. If someone has requested the pair and I haven't got to it yet, let me know. and I'll jump over to it. I know, investment, because that is a big move. Um, DXY using the daytime frame. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I just would have my stop loss a little bit lower. I mean, 4 hour daily, regardless, I would have the stop loss a little bit lower. And like I said, I'd rather just enter off the retest of that high there anyway. So that's kind of where I'll be. But yeah, I actually do like the buy you're looking for. It's just I'll be looking at that a bit further down for the entries. Morning, Lapara. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Okay, just in some shorts on Aussie CHF. Nice, good setup. Looking for a swing trade to the previous low. It's funny because some people are shorting Aussie CHF, some people are buying Aussie CHF. So it's kind of like we're looking at the same market through different lenses, which is one of the cool things about trading is that people could be trading the same market for different reasons and buying the same market or selling the same market, and both have good reasons for doing so. So why it's really important to make sure you train yourself and have the ability to read the charts yourself, because you could be looking at two very good traders and they're both trading the same market, but one's selling and one's buying. So yeah, you need to make sure you can have your own way in the market. But yeah, I'm still short on Aussie CHF, very, very close to taking me out the trade there yesterday, but just about keeping me in. I'm still looking at this as kind of a range, but my idea, my plan with Aussie CHF is that the market has rejected the high there. Now I'm looking for a swing back to the low. It looks to me that we've had a really big drop, and that this could be the correction of that drop. Sort of what I've been speaking about with the yen pairs all this time. We had a big drop there. Now the market's having a pause, and now I'm looking for the drop to continue. Of course, will it break up? That's up to Aussie CHF, but my stop loss is still at break even, so I'm just going to let the market do its thing. In terms of where I'm looking to take it into is back into the low here. Really, really big support resting around 0.56182. So to me, that is a really big level. If we're to get there, I think I'll just close the trade. Normally, I'll just trail and see how far I can take it. But because that is such a big level and has proven to reject price very, very well on the higher time frames, there's no point me trying to test my luck. If price can break through, I'll just call it a day there. But yeah, in terms of finding entries and get into a trade, if you're going to short around the high here, I think that's a nice place to take some shorts. Stop loss above the high there, I presume, and then you're looking for a swing back into the low. And then maybe if you're a bit more optimistic, you've got the low all the way down there as well. So it's up to you how you want to trade it, but there is a lot of downside to be had there for Aussie CHF. And if you're looking for the full swing, there is that opportunity there. Or if you're just looking to swing it back to the low end of the range, that looks like a good trade too on the hourly or the 4 hour chart. But yeah, still a little bit corrective, but I don't know. Maybe now we've seen that push, maybe momentum will kick back into the market finally. But yeah, I like Aussie CHF to the downside as well. And of course, since I'm trading it, that's a good sign. Holy one with ET, how frequent is the payout? So yeah, the first payout is 30 days after the first trade, and after that, bi-weekly. But if you have been with us for a period, we can look to make it every week as well. So the idea is that we're looking to reward more consistent traders. If you're trading with us for longer, there will be amendments to the rules to benefit you. Okay, another position. Wow, very active in the markets this week in Keva. Dollar CHF 4 hour 0.85380 resistance. Okay, I'll go take a look at that. Sold pound yen 195.502. Okay, nice. What's up, Knox? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Lauder? Hope you are well. Yeah, 195 looking good. That's a much better entry than mine. Because price is seeing a lot more upside. So 195.502, that's just at the top up here. So what's the plan with the trade? How far are you looking to take it? Because we're still kind of in this ascending channel here. So until we kind of get the break of that, it's going to be difficult to really get the momentum going. If we can see a solid close underneath this, then that's when I think momentum starts to spill and we can see a lot of downside for pound yen. But at the moment, we're kind of still just resting in this ascending channel here. So yeah, it's a little bit awkward. So that's what I was wondering where your targets are. You looking for a big swing, or are you just looking to take it back into a low here and call it a day? What's the plan there with that pound yen short? Anyway, I'll take a look at that dollar CHF position. So let me go to dollar CHF. So your entry is at resist 0.85380, 0.85380. So that's around there. Wait, dollar CHF 4 are at 0.58380, resistance 0.860480, up to level. Yeah, I'm confused which one's your entry. 86045. Okay, that's there roughly. And then you're looking at 87220. Okay, that's around there-ish. And then your stop loss 0.85. Nice little round number, easy for me to spot. Okay, so you're looking for some buys around here with a stop loss around there and targets above there, I suppose. I forgot to mark at 86045 is around the high there. So yeah, I don't mind that actually, because we're coming back into retest the high, which we've been talking about since last week, which actually had a really nice buy there. So yeah, I don't mind that. I think the stop loss is nicely placed as well because it's below that area. At least you give yourself some room for market test, maybe wick below if it wants to as well, then possibly see a move to the upside there too. So in terms of dollar CHF, I like that. I like that a lot. I like that a lot in terms of the entry, in terms of the stop loss, in terms of the targets. I think that's reasonable as well because you've got the resistance there. That's our previous lower high, which we could see a big move to the downside there too. So naturally, there's a good chance we could see a move back up there again. I would watch out for the high, and I think you are. I think that's where you had the other level as well. So if we do pull back from there, I think that's a reasonable target to have as a first target. Banks and partials, trailer stop, however you see fit in terms of management, and then you got your extended target at that high there, which looks pretty reasonable as well. So yeah, in terms of the entry, I like it. In terms of the stop loss, I like it. In terms of the targets, I like it as well. Yeah, including the high there too. So yeah, this trade I can really get behind. The other US 30 one was a bit crazy, but I like this one. I like this one a lot. You just have to see if we get the retracement there and get the buy. Hoodie one into the buy. Yes, yeah, that'll be possible. Lord, oh, okay, you joined GJ as well. Okay, some people are looking to become a part of the GJ train. I mean, I've been in it probably about 2.5 weeks too early, but hopefully we can get it going. Take profit, GJ 190.52. Okay, so how look 190.452. Okay, so you're looking for a pretty big move as well. It's not a small move at all. 452, so that's basically 500, so around there-ish. So yeah, that's a pretty meaty move. I would suppose your stop losses are, somewhere around 196 area, and then your entries around here. So the risk rewards on your trade must be pretty big, 1 to 5, 1 to 6, something like that. So looking really, really generous there. Lauder, what's your position? 195, 300. So even better entry. So you're right at the top here somewhere. And then again, I suppose your stop loss is around the 196 area as well. So yeah, again, where's your targets for that position as well? Or are you looking to trail, or do you have a set target for that? Now, I'm expecting big moves for these yen pairs, but again, I don't think we have the catalyst yet, because if we are going to see these big moves, if we are going to see these big moves for the yen pairs, then we need to see some big momentum. I'm not looking for a small little move here. These are trend defining moves that will either keep us in this bullish trend for the long run or start a bearish trend back down. So it's a pivotal point for the yen pairs, really. And if we are going to see that downside, it's going to come thick and fast, and I expect us to really bleed. But the catalyst isn't here yet. We've seen some downside this morning, which is great, but need a little bit more than that to really get the ball rolling. I mean, other yen pairs look better than some others. I think pound's a little bit strong today as well, so might not be the best yen currency pair to trade in terms of pound being a little bit strong. CAD's been pretty weak, so that's moving a little bit better. Even euro's weaker, that's moved a little bit better. New Zealand yen's been weak, that's moved better. Aussie yen's moved better, and dollar yen's moved better as well. I think Swiss has done a better job either. So pound's probably the worst one to be trading. But again, with the yen pairs, they do the same thing. So if one's going to drop, then they're all going to drop really. So the potential is there. It's just we're kind of waiting, twiddling our thumbs, seeing if the move will happen. Okay, Kodri shorted BTC. Okay, we'll take a look at that as well. Okay, Trailbot watch closely. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I mean, that's the thing with the yen pairs. There's so much room to the downside that I think trading is the best way to go, because you just don't know how big of a drop you can have. I mean, imagine if you were shorting down here. I highly doubt many people would have targets all the way down here, but that's where the market dropped to. It just eradicated all this price action in less than half the time. And I'm expecting something similar if we can get going. But we'll see. Long way to go. And like I said, I think pound's a bit strong, so I'm gonna have to be patient. But let me take a look at that Bitcoin trade. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, finding it useful, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. It does really help out the streams, the channel. So I do really appreciate everyone who drops a like and subscribes. And of course, make sure you do hit the bell as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. But yeah, for Bitcoin, you said you had a short from, was it 66,398. So roughly around there-ish. So right at the top. Stop 67,900. Okay, so give yourself a little bit of room there. I like it. I like it a lot. And then targets 60K 5. That's around there-ish. Yeah, I think that looks like a pretty reasonable drop to me. You're not asking for too much. Again, if we are going to hold into this high here, I'm looking for the full range, so a full swing back to the low. But of course, in terms of the risk reward, you're probably already looking at a nice 1 to 3 there, probably back into that low. So then you don't necessarily need to look for the full swing to have a successful trade there either. But targets look pretty realistic in my view. entry, really nice place. And the stop loss I like as well, because you're giving yourself a little bit of room there, because we might want to, pinch a little bit higher, give us a little bit wick, like we did over there, as well. We might wick a little bit higher before we do see the big drop. So so I like the stop loss, giving yourself a bit of wiggle room, and I'm liking the direction as well, because if you're going to short, this is the place to do it. Right at the top of the channel where we're seeing those rejections, that's the place to do it. And if we're going to hold, looking at a drop like that, and if you do break through and we do go and hit the stop loss, then maybe price is just switching directions for a buy. You can look to switch with that, change your bias, look for retests, and look to ride that momentum up as well. Because either which way, I'm expecting big moves for Bitcoin. Euro USD 1 day, there's a trendline breakout, sell limit at 1. Okay. Wow, how many positions are you taking in Keva? Sounds like you got a trade for every currency pair. Um, no, I got taken out of Euro USD this morning just by the pip. I mean, I'm still looking at upside on Euro, but I need to get back above my level. So this is the level I was buying from, and price at the moment is still trading below it. So for me to get back into the trade, I need to see price close above it like that, and then I'll look to re-enter. But it was just this wick here that took me out. Still am bullish, and we still are holding on to it on the daily chart. So the buy is still very much there. It's just I need to see the full hour commit as well for me to get into the trade. But if we're going to stay below, then yeah, we might see a bit more downside. And if we break below, then I'm not really interested in buying Euro at all anymore, because it needs to be above that area. If we start to break below, yeah, I'm not interested. Pound USD is moving a bit. Okay, is pound pushing up? Yeah, because pound is quite strong. Oh, it is looking pretty strong. Look at that. So yeah, if you can get a nice candle closure above that zone, I think you're looking good, at least for a push back to the high here where we started this descent from, and then we can get a push back to the high there at 1.32636 there as well. So yeah, I'm liking pound USD. I'm liking pound USD a lot. I mean, in hindsight, it looks a lot better than Euro with the break of that descending channel. I think that this resistance here is the critical one. If we can break past that, then pound USD will have its room to push into. And it looks like USD is seeing some downside there as well from that high, which we've been talking about. So if dollar can keep that up, then that will help out pound, that help out euro, and maybe get me back into euro longs. So yeah, again, I am still bullish on these USD pairs. Not necessarily looking for the full swing back to the high. Where's your targets for that? For that buy? Will, are you looking for a full swing back to 1.34200? Holy wants to want the euro buy. Okay, waiting for it to get back above the 50. Yeah, again, I mean, I'm pretty sure it's pretty miles away from the 50 at the point now. Yeah, it's pretty far. So it's going to take some time, because the 50 is going to have to catch up. Price probably can stall a little bit and break above, and then you find your entry there. But yeah, if you're waiting for that 50 to get back below price and price to get back above it, then the market will come and meet it in the middle, really. And if price wants to keep falling, then you won't take the trade, and you will miss out on potentially getting to a loser there as well. So yeah, there's that too. What's up, Peter Panda? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Forex list for trading view on Discord. I don't understand. Your Forex list for trading view on Discord. Yeah, I don't know what you mean by that. Do you mean my watch list? Like the markets I trade? Yeah, please let me know because I'm unsure what you meant by that message. Lauder. Um, okay, hit your level you wanted to buy at 1.08930. But I missed it unless, okay, retraces a bit. I could attempt to jump in. Okay. Yeah, if it comes back above that level, I'll be looking for entries. If it stays below, like I said, I'll stay on the sidelines. But it is still pretty corrective, and again, similar to pounds, I do expect us to break to the upside here because we had a pretty big drop. So now that we're back in bullish territory again, I'm looking for looking for a push. It might not necessarily be all the way back to the high over over there around 1.12, but something like this back into this area or this area here looks pretty good to me. So yeah, I'm still liking the buys for euro, but waiting for a little bit more upside first. 132,750. 132,750. Okay, so you're looking for roughly around here somewhere. Yeah, I like that. Not looking for the full swing, but push to that area. I mean, I think you pointed out that we could perform that head and shoulder pattern. Same with Aussie dollar as well. So not a bad place for a take profit. So yeah, I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. I think it's pretty reasonable as well because I'm looking at the dollar and I think the dollar could do something similar in terms of a push back down into this level. Then we might, head off to the upside there as well. That's kind of similar to pounds. That drop there for the dollar, and that push to the upside for the pound. Similar moves, and then we might see some more downside after that as well. Or maybe we continue, but they're in sync, so it looks good. It looks good to me. Export your forex so that we can import them. I don't even know how to do that. Export my forex list. Import them and scan the same list. All I look at is yen crosses. All I look at is all the major pairs, minor FX pairs, gold and silver at the moment, and I'm about to start looking at US30 as well. But those are the pairs I look at. So you will have a list on that on your MT4 platform or whatever the trading platform you look at. All the majors, all the minors, gold and silver. I keep tabs on some other markets as well down there, but those are not markets that I trade. Just majors, minors, and gold and silver. Pound NZD breakout support level. Okay, we'll take a look at pound NZD as well. Okay, €1, pound NZD. Okay, you're looking to buy as well. Okay, pulled away too much. Okay, we'll take a look at pound NZD as well. I haven't actually been keeping tabs on that pair. Will enter pound USD just now. We're going to push now. Oh, I thought you were already in the position. I thought you were already in the trade, Will. Thought you already be in the trade, but yeah, we're looking really bullish there. Pound USD really breaking that high. If we can close similar to how we're looking now in the next 2.5 hours, I know it's a long way away, but if you can close similar to how we're looking like that when the 4 hour candle does close, then yeah, I think we'll just see that momentum just pick up and push to the high. I think pound's a lot stronger than euro. Euro is trying to see some upside, but pound's a lot stronger. Okay, so I'll go through pound NZD. Okay, didn't feel too good about it last night. Okay, fair enough. So stop loss was on zero. Okay, okay, fair enough, fair enough. But yeah, it's looking pretty good now. So hopefully that can jet off. Um, so pound entity, not really a pair which I'm keeping tabs on. I mean, on my weekly analysis, I was stating that we could be looking for a break me test off the low here, which seems to be playing out pretty well. But now we're coming back into the high here, so this is where I would start to worry again because this is now back in bearish territory. And I'll be a bit careful as we do approach that high because, again, that is a big turning point for me. Price could definitely find some resistance here and have a big sell off, or we might push to the next area and have the big sell off. But these are the two levels which I'll be careful of. I think having targets there or taking some partials, some type of management will make a lot of sense because those are some big areas. But now that we have kind of seen the retest happen, I feel like if you're entering now, the ship has already sailed and the train's kind of left the station sort of thing. Entering on the retest here was kind of the time for it. So yeah, I like the buys for push back into this area, break and retest, push there. But now, anything can happen. We can come straight down. Maybe we retest and continue. Who knows? But now entering here, I think it's a bit late to the party, really, with pound NZD. You're looking to buy at 2.13854, 2.13. Wait, where am I going? 2.13854. Okay, that's around here. And imagine stop loss below the low. Target 2.15667. So roughly around there somewhere. So yeah, it looks good. It's just, will price get back there again? I think that's just the question. Because like I said, the train's kind of left the station, but we might come back and pick up some passengers that we left behind. We might come back for another retest, double bottom, and then push on. In that case, yes, the trade is very much still on. Find some entries in that area. I would imagine some stop losses below the low, and then you're looking to take it back into the same high. So yeah, if pound NZD was to come back there again, I can definitely get on board with that opportunity. Yeah, I can definitely get on board with that. The market's still kind of slowly pushing to the upside there as well. So I do like the buys there with pound NZD. But like I said, as we approach that high, yeah, that's where the sellers are sitting. So I would watch out for that. But yeah, it's just whether we'll see that move happen or not, really. But yeah, I like that move. And then the hoodie one, you're looking for the H150 for price to pull back into that. Okay, yeah, we have pushed away a little bit there. But we can still pull back. I mean, if we're going to see that pullback for in Keba, then we could definitely see that pullback for the 50. Scalping is too stressful. Yeah, I mean, scalping's not for everyone. Oh, okay, not trading it left the station ages ago. Okay, fair. But yeah, if it was to come back down and get the retest, then possibly on the double bottom, we could see the entry. And that's the thing with pound NZD. We do kind of chop around first before we get going. I mean, look previously how we reacted with this high. We tested it 1, 2, 3, 4 times before we actually left the station and saw some downside. So there's that possibility that maybe we come back down and retest it again for the big buy. So I wouldn't write it off completely, but yeah, if we just keep pushing and back into that high there, then yeah, that boat has definitely sailed. But keep an eye because we may come back to revisit how the other USD. So yeah, USD is nowhere near as bullish, and that's because pound's a lot stronger than euro. Euro Aussie seeing a bit of upside, not much. Pound Aussie's loving life right now, seeing a lot of upside there. Yeah, Euro Pound's falling, of course, showing us the difference in strength there as well. But yeah, I haven't really been looking to trade these crosses. Not a big fan of the price action at the moment. Very, very corrective in the higher time frames, and the higher time frames is what I use for direction. So if they're corrective, then I'm just going to be skipping past them. How are the CHF pairs doing? Euro CHF, not much to report on. CADs, not much there as well. Pound, that's looking pretty strong. Aussie, it's doing okay. New Zealand CHF, a little bit bearish, but not much there as well. So it's kind of a repeat, really. The markets are still pretty stale. Pound yen, still just about holding on to that channel there. Again, need that break to really get the ball rolling. Euro yen still dancing on that low there as well. Yeah, still need that momentum. What's the news looking like today? I don't think we have anything. I know, was it Thursday? I think Thursday we've got a lot going on. But for today, okay, we've got CAD inflation rate. So if anyone trading any CAD pairs, watch out for that. Inflation is expected to drop. But yeah, that's pretty much it for today. And we got New Zealand inflation rate as well in the evening, 10:45 UK time. But I'm not trading any NZD pairs, so it shouldn't affect me too much. I mean, Aussie maybe a little bit, very correlated, but I'm not expecting fireworks there. And then tomorrow, pound inflation rate, that could be interesting because I'm still holding pound yen. If I'm still in the trade tomorrow, then yeah, that would be something I might want to keep an eye on. And then Thursday, we got JPY inflation rate, Aussie unemployment rate, that could be big. Euro CPI, Euro interest rates, that could be big as well. Jobless claims for USD. So yeah, Thursday's the bigger day. And then Friday, inflation rate for yen. So yeah, in terms of news, there's nothing really today apart from CAD if you're trading CAD. But if you're not trading CAD, then not much to worry about. Okay, Michael, you're buying pound NZD from 2.144. Okay, whereabouts is that? 2.14484. So that's around here. So yeah, not bad of an entry. Of course, you on paper you wanted to get as close to the low as possible, as reasonably possible, because effectively your stop loss is going to be there. But where's your targets? Is it back to the high? Okay, take profit open. Okay, so I imagine you're trading. So yeah, pound ends from experience not always the best pair to be trailing because it's a very corrective pair. You know, the better pairs to be looking to trail stop losses like the yen pairs because they have the smoother moves. Not all the time, but on average, they trend a lot better out of the FX pairs. Pound NZD, Euro NZD, they're a bit more choppy. So trading stops can work well, just not all the time with these currency pairs. I would watch out for the high there as well, 2.15. I think once we get there, I think either stop loss to break even or partial or however you want to manage it, something just to protect yourself because we could easily roll back over again. And it'd be a bit of a shame to waste that move just to see price turn against you. For pound NZ to really get going, I think we need to break the high here because maybe price is slowly making its way back to the high there. So if we do break through this swing point, then maybe we are going to push back to the high, and that's where that open take profit will make the big difference, and possibly you could catch a big winner. So I like the upside potential, but there is one obstacle in your way here, which could make the difference whether the price breaks it or not. So I'd watch out for that. Maybe when we get there, keep an eye on price. If we're seeing some strong signs of rejection, maybe maybe just trading a stop, taking a partial could help out. But if we see some strong price action, market breaks through, then yeah, you could be on for a really big position there. But I like the buys there off the retest of that low. It's just what we do at this high is going to be very pivotal going forward. But yeah, I do like the buys there for pound and D. Hold on, what do you think the most requested and traded pair in the trading world is euro? Um, I think that's just in general in terms of just transactions around the world. USD to euro, I think, is the biggest. I mean, my economic knowledge isn't immaculate, so I mean, I would think China and US would be pretty big as well. But I suppose USD and euro is just the most traded between currencies. As to particularly why, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't think. I don't know. Yeah, you're throwing me in a little bit of a tough spot here, Holy One. I just expect it to be just the most traded. Um, but yeah, thinking about it, I'll be thinking that China as well should be in there too. But China isn't really seen as a major currency. It's a minor actually. But yeah, maybe just USD and euro is just the most interchange currency pairs. Annie, okay, yes, we'll have a look at oil. Came down significantly today. Yes, indeed it did. We did see a lot of downside for oil. I will touch on that probably because euro makes up most of the market. Maybe. I'm not too sure. Yeah, I think that's something I need to go research. But I know that euro, as you mentioned, takes up has the biggest weighting in the basket for the DXY. I don't know if that would translate to because it's traded the most in between. I think pound is second as well. Yeah, good question though. Good question. I need to research that. Pavinator, what's up? Happy Tuesday to you as well. I'm doing good. Hope you are doing good as well. Got out of my short position today, made $18. Nice. Profit at the end of the day. Looking to move into a buy. Okay, nice. Is it from the same area? Because you're trading Aussie dollar, aren't you? And I remember you were shorting around here, and you had the big stop loss all the way above the high. But yeah, it's still at a nice level of support. I mean, what I'm looking for Aussie dollar is some strong candlesticks to tell me, okay, this support is holding, and that we can turn around. Not quite there yet, but still a nice area for a buy. Okay, so I'll go through oil. So yeah, oil, we did see a lot of downside today. Price looking really bearish, and I do think we're likely to see more downside. In fact, if we do, that means CAD's gonna keep that weakness and keep that in mind with some of the other CAD pairs. But yeah, in terms of oil, I do think more downside is likely because 72 is a really pivotal level for me. A break of that really does paint the picture in terms of the direction of the next few days. I do expect us to push back down into 66. We have a really big level on the weekly chart around 66, which is this area here. And it looks like price is coming back for another retest of that same area. Let me just mark it with the tool there so you can spot it a bit easier. So it looks like price is working its way back into that same level of support now that we are crashing through 72. So in terms of a setup, in terms of to get into the trade, I like the retest of 72 here. Say that we continue a little bit further, get the pullback, retest this area. We've got nice trendline confidence there as well. Essentially looking to try and catch that third lower high, 1, 2, 3, and then looking to short that and catch that next swing back into the low, or depending where you want to have your targets. But yeah, in terms of direction, I think we'll likely see more downside now with oil. The fact that is 72 is not holding, because originally I was expecting us to hold a support and push higher, but we didn't. We came crashing through. So that's changed the bias for me. And if we can hold 72 as a resistance, I think that's a great place to short and anticipate another move down. But yeah, really bearish day today so far with that drop there. So expecting more of the same. Of course, a pullback at some stage, but more of the same. Okay, so we'll take a look. Yep, £18 better than 18 pence, very, very much. So again, profit's profit. Profit is the profit you didn't have before. So you can't really knock it. Of course, everyone wants a bigger profit, and no matter how much money you make, you always want to make a bit more. Who doesn't? But profit is profit. Profit is profit. What's up, Chaka? What's up? Welcome to the stream. Nasdaq today, bullish or bearish? Okay, we'll go take a look at Nasdaq in a moment. Looking at entry around 0.66915. Okay. Okay, so you're looking for some longs at 0.66959 915. Okay, we'll have a look. See. Hey, what's up, Tom? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. Okay, so we'll have a look at Nasdaq. So Nasdaq, last time I checked, I'm pretty bullish, and yes, I'll still be very bullish. I'm looking for Nasdaq to come back into the high here at 2,700. So I'm expecting more upside back into that high, because if you look at US 30, look at S&P, these guys have been flying like it's no tomorrow, all-time highs. They're just loving life right now. Whereas Nasdaq, we're looking bullish too, but we're not trading at all-time highs yet. So in my eyes, Nasdaq has still got room to the upside, because it's likely going to follow what US 30 and S&P are doing. So I think there's potential here for us to get back to the high and trade it to there as well. So now that Nasdaq has broken out of this resistance here as well, it has left behind a really nice tidy level of support. Should we get there, it looks like a really nice place for a buy. Look for entries, stop loss below, and you got a really nice healthy trading range there back to the high, and maybe beyond there as well. If it's really going to follow what US 30 and S&P are doing, we probably will see higher prices than just the retest of the high there. So yeah, Nasdaq extremely bullish. I wouldn't be looking to take any sells really. Nice little trendline confidence there as well, minus that fake out there. But the market has been proving to hold this area really well. Now that we've got a really strong break of a lot of momentum of that high, I think a retest looks really, really good there. So yeah, Nas very bullish. Looking for more upside. Maybe there's some sells as we approach 2,700, but yeah, the bigger move for me is likely to the upside, so I'll only stick with the buys for now. And yeah, ride that back to the high. Okay, where were we? Okay, so I have a look at that 0.66915 Pavinator. Hey, what's up, Ben? Welcome to the stream. Aussie Sea Chef fell breakout was brutal. Feel like you cut the trade. Anger. Don't know the crosspairs are even worth trading, to be honest. The PA shocking 90% at the time. Yeah, I mean that is the reality of the crosspairs. They are just a lot choppy. Sea Chef, I think they're one of the main culprits really, because they're very, very choppy on average. The way I see it is that they just take longer to see the same move. With the yen pairs and the USD pairs, on average, they're going to move a lot quicker than some of the CHF or the pound NZD pairs or euro pound or Aussie New Zealand dollar. The way I see it, they take twice, maybe three times as long sometimes to make the same move. There's still money to be made, but you will be sitting trades a little bit longer. That's just the reality of it. Of course, the spreads are not as good as well. Sometimes the swaps are not as good as well too, a bit more costly. So the majors are they are more attractive to trade in general. Of course they are, whether you're swing trading or day trading, because the swaps are more, they pile up more with the crosses. So in general, it's better to trade the majors, the USD pairs, 100%. The reason why I look at the crosses is because just looking at the USD pairs alone means my trade frequency will be a little bit too low for my liking. Allowing myself to look at the crosses as well means I can really pick and choose. But yes, it does come with some downside with the crosses, and for the reasons I just explained. So if you don't want to trade the crosses, there's no love lost. I think focusing on the majors is a good call as well. The crosses do provide nice opportunities, but you just have to be aware that they can be a bit of a nuisance and they can take their time. Um, so yeah, you really have to be laid back and just let the crosses do their things because they do have their moves. Looking at Aussie C Chef here, that's a really nice move there. That's a nice move there. That's a nice move down. That's a nice move down there. It's a pretty nice sell off there. That's a nice sell there. That's a nice sell, nice buy. But then equally, that's a horrendous consolidation. That's a horrendous consolidation. That's not a great consolidation either. Yeah, that's not really a nice consolidation either. So they have their choppy moments as well. Um, so it's yeah, there's pros and cons. You just have to weigh them up and see is it worth it, and you have to make that decision. But don't get me wrong, they're a pain 100%. They are a pain. If we'll take a look at that CJ Kajin position. Um, all right, no problem, Michael. Excuse me. Landed off from the past year. Okay, nice. You're doing a great job. Keep it up. Thank you. I didn't know you've been watching the streams for that long, to be honest, Michael. But that's good to hear, and good to hear that you found found it useful. So I really do appreciate that. And yeah, guys, if you are enjoying the streams, please be sure to drop a like if you are enjoying it. It really does help out. And of course, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. That does really help out as well. Might just trade USD and yen pairs and gold. Yeah, I mean, in terms of movement, those are going to be the best. Of course, they have their periods of consolidation as well. I mean, I'm in pound yen. I've been sitting this for 2.5 weeks now. So they're not perfect either, but on average, they'll be a lot better. So I think trading the yen pairs, the USD pairs, gold as well, is a good call. Is a good call, to be honest. See what half the trading world have ran over to indices. Yeah, indices are a lot smoother, and I'm looking to add US 30 as well. And then in the future, I'll probably add the other major US indices as well. And yeah, it's for those reasons really. Again, every market will have their time where they consolidate and they're slow, but on average, the crosses will do it more often than not. So yeah, yeah. Um, okay, you're long on dollar yen. Got stopped out on CJ, long intraday, but swing dollar yen. Wasn't that CJ from last week, Tom? Yeah, yeah, USD and yen pairs, yeah. All right, no problem, Will. Happy to help. Happy to help. Um, we'll catch you tomorrow. Um, okay, let me go look at that ends the USD position. Okay, but you just got a trade for every pair here, it seems like. So ends the USD, you said you've got a oh, I'm on ends the USD. Okay, you're selling at 0.609. It's around there ish. Stop loss 609. Oh, okay, very small then. 500. Am I reading this correctly? So your stop loss is there. Okay, this is an intraday trade. You really got a nice little range of trades you take because you've got the colossal trade you're looking at on US 30, but then you got a very small intraday trade here. TP 0.606. That's very specific there. 606 400. So around there. Um, yeah, I like it to be honest from an intraday level because the market is doing a really good job at keeping these lower highs consistent. So if we can maintain that, there's a strong chance we'll probably see another drop back into the low here and probably into your target there as well. So I do like it from intraday level. The conditions are quite choppy, so I'm not a big fan of that. What I like a little bit more is if price was to push up back to the high there and get a short up there with a stop above the high. I like that a little bit more. Not only is the risk reward a little bit better, but a stop loss in a slightly safer position, and the market's a bit more at the extreme and away from the consolidation and the noise as well. So that would be my preferred entry, but I don't mind if the market maintains that trend line there as well, then we should see price roll over too. And in terms of targets, makes a lot of sense. Target the low there as well. So yeah, I don't mind that opportunity at all. But yeah, you got a big wide range of trades you look at because US 30, you got targets, which looks like you're kind of using the monthly chart. But with that one, looks like you're using the hourly or the 4 hour chart. So it's pretty interesting. But yeah, with myself, I'm just in the pound yen and the Aussie CHF position. But yeah, it is taking its sweet time. But the funny thing is, I want it to keep falling as well, which goes against your position, Ben. But yeah, I mean that's the reality of the crosses. CHF pairs included. They're a little bit more choppy than the rest, actually. Um, yeah, it is. It's a bit more painful. But then again, sometimes you get trades that take a while to get going, and then on like the eighth day, they make a really nice move, and it makes it all worth the wait. Then some trades you get into, and they just instantly go in your favor, and it looks immaculate, and you're right as rain. The way I look at it is that the only stress it is the stress you create yourself, because effectively all you're doing is just sitting on the trade. It could be a win, it could be a loss, it could be a break even. That's up to the market. You've done all the hard work in terms of placing the trade, placing the entry, placing the stop loss, analyzing the market, finding your direction. You've done all the hard work of mapping out the trade and taking the trade. Now it's just up to the market to do its thing. So yeah, you don't want to become too attached and watch the trade too much because that's where it becomes very stressful. And when you get those fake moves like that, it really does take a toll on you because you're looking at that move and you're like, okay, the trade's finally going. Then it comes back down. You're like, give me a break, sort of thing. Um, I mean, similar with me as well with that big drop I had there. And since then, price has just been sideways. The way I see it is I just let the market do its thing. I try not to have an expectation that it is going to play out or it's going to take my break even. If I can just have a neutral expectation and just manage the trade for what it is, then it's just so much easier trading because I'm a bit more free. I'm not really even focused on odds each. I'm always focused on my next trade as well. That does really help out. The trade you take, great, manage it how you need to, but just be focused on the next trade. Don't try and have an expectation of the trade you're in, because that's when it will lead you to make emotional decisions. Like you said, closing the trade out of anger. If you're just focused on the next trade, you don't really care about Aussie CHF too much, then you're not going to be so attached to it. But yeah, I understand. See the downtrend price channel where price broke out the channel and now making a retest of the downwards channel. Which time frame are you talking about, Kojo? Because okay, I think I know you're talking about this channel here. So yeah, I mean I'm looking at more downside for oil, but yeah, we're coming back to the lower end, so we might see a bounce. But I'm more interested in shorting at the upper end of the channel and seeing a bit more downside back into the low. Yeah, exactly, Lauda. Put a stop loss, let the market do its thing. Otherwise, it's gonna be a very emotional run. Oh, would you look at that? I didn't even realize the time there, early one. Thank you for reminding me. But yeah, guys, we have actually come up to the end of the stream. Yeah, completely lost track of the time there. We're coming up to the end of the stream, but of course, I will be live again tomorrow. I'm live every weekday from 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you guys are free, feel free to pop in, say hello. I don't bite. As I said, if you guys have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Check out Elevating Traders Discord channel, completely free to join. Discount opportunities will be available there. We are launching this weekend, so make sure you're in the Discord so you don't miss out on that. And of course, you can join discussions, talk about different trading opportunities. I share setups I'm looking at there as well, and so do other people. So if you are interested in that, make sure you do hop in. Link to that at the top of the chat or in the description somewhere. You can't miss it. But guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Have a great Tuesday, and I'll catch you all in the next one.